Tonight we have a lot of information to give you. We're going to go through a lot of things, and I just want you to know from the get-go that this information, this PowerPoint that I will be covering and will be recorded and sent to all of our parents and all of our guardians. So if you don't get all of the information that I cover, we're going to go pretty fast. There'll be links on the PowerPoint. You can access additional information. And we had a lot of great questions that parents have asked ahead of time, ahead of this meeting. And we'll let you know that we'll get through a lot of those questions through the PowerPoint. And also there'll be a time where I'll answer some questions. But any questions that aren't answered throughout tonight's presentation, please, I'll talk about it a little later here. Please feel free to email me and we'll make sure that we get those questions answered. First, I want everybody to know that we're ready for this. We're ready for this is the theme of South Whidbey High School, South Whidbey Academy this year. And we're ready for this was picked by our ASB student leaders. And the South Whidbey High School staff adopted this theme. And we really feel like we're ready for this. First of all, I'd like to make some introductions here. We have quite the panel of our department heads, student leaders, and support people. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Paul Lagerstedt, our athletic director and assistant principal.
Hello, good evening.
I would like to introduce our South Whidbey Academy director, Charlie Davies. I would like to introduce our counselor A through K, Leah Patton.
Hi.
And a big Falcon welcome to our newest counselor here at South Whidbey High School, Nicole Longden.
Al, thanks for coming tonight.
I would also like to introduce Sue Ann Brewer, our tech TOSA, teacher on special assignment, that's really doing a lot of great support for our teachers, our students, and we'll talk about for our parents. Thank you for showing up tonight, Sue Ann. Our awesome student leader, Julia Maher, who's also a club president. Julia.
Hi, guys.
We have our department heads, which are Bill Patterson, our science department head.
Probably a few former students out there. Enjoy working with all the children and young adults.
Thank you, Bill. Our English department head, Gerald Cave.
Welcome to the evening.
Thank you, Gerald. We decided that she works for NPR with the headset today. Thank you, Gerald. Kayla Phillips, our CTE department head, our leadership teacher, our activities director, and our principal intern, Kayla Phillips.
Hi, Falcons.
Nancy Ricketts, our health and PE department head.
Hi, everyone.
Rochelle Bennett, our special education department head.
Good evening.
Jenny Gokenauer, our world language and fine arts department head.
Hola, buenas noches.
David Nelson, our math department head.
Hello, good evening.
And Mark Eager, our history department head.
Welcome to 2020, where current events make history.
True, very true. So again, we do have a lot of information to cover tonight. And again, we will share this with all staff and we'll also post it to our website tomorrow. The first thing is we were really grateful for the 2 weeks soft start, as we called it, for our teachers, our staff. It was 2 weeks of very intensive work in order to, give a great remote approach for our students. The big thing that we learned is we really want, it's a real paradigm shift for our staff, and we want our students to create more than consume. The stand and deliver model in the traditional sense, the traditional approach, is not effective in the remote approach. So it's been a real paradigm shift for our staff and in our approach. So again, we want our students to create more than consume. And we got this from Dr. Desiree Alexander, and Dr. Desiree Alexander from the Bureau of Education and Research, really well-versed in best practices. Really talked to our staff about the 5 conditions for optimal learning in a remote approach. And the first point is basically don't use every tech tool. We tried to simplify our platforms using Google Classroom and really not trying to use every tech program that's out there. And that'll make it easier for our students and our staff and our parents to understand, follow, and again, consistency is the big thing. We need to have clear expectations. And also last spring, academic rigor. Last spring really was a tremendously difficult time for all of us. We were literally, I know it's kind of an old saying, but we were building the airplane as we were in the air. We've had a lot more preparation this year, but really we want to revisit and really have a rigorous and robust curriculum for our students. We are responsible for our students to reach their potential. And last spring in our remote approach, we were just trying to keep the ship afloat. But this year, we really want to ensure that our students have academic rigor. Cultural relevancy, which is something obviously that's very important in our times right now in the nation and in the world. Social justice issues and many things are happening in our country. And again, this is a great time for our students to learn. This is a great time for our students to step up and talk about and discuss what they believe in. And we have to remember that young people change the world, and we have great hope for our young students here at South Whidbey High School that they're going to be part of that positive change in our nation, in our society, and in our community. Number 5, something that our staff holds dearly and always held dearly is healthy student relationships. The big thing is we have to remember is last spring, during March, when we went to the remote approach, our staff already had that face-to-face connection with our students, with their students in their classrooms. This year, we're starting with a remote approach where we're not face-to-face live with our students. So it's really important that these first couple of weeks that we make connections, deep connections with our students. A lot of people have asked, we've had a lot of questions about when are we going to move to the next phase? What does the next phase look like? Right now, just a reminder, we are currently in phase 3, which means we're 100% remote with the exception of our highly impacted students, which include our vulnerable students, our highly impacted special ed students, and some others. So our next phase, again, we are going to look every 30 days. So our next date that we're going to look at moving phases is October 15th. And that is a decision, obviously, our superintendent, I think our board will also weigh in, but also it's really what is the Department of Health, what is the CDC, what are area superintendents, what is our region, what is our ESD, and basically we're going to make the decision on what is best and most safe for our students. So we do have plans for phase 4 and phase 5 and what that will look like. We're not interested in sharing that out yet because, as you know, things have been very fluid. There's been a lot of changes coming down from the state. So again, we do have plans for those phases, but again, it's kind of a wait and see. And I guarantee you, once we move to a phase 4, we will again have another webinar. We will have another webcast for parents explaining schedules, approach, etc. And also, obviously, we'll inform our students. Again, this PowerPoint is full of links. There's another link there with the superintendent's letter about our fall reopening with a lot more information about the phases and what constitutes the schedule and some of the specifics in those phases. So a lot of questions. This is our daily schedule, our daily weekly schedule for South Whidbey High School. And I really want you to understand that, again, it's really hard. We really backed away from Zoom. We don't want to have our students sitting in front of Zoom for 4 or 5 hours a day, which happened sometimes last spring. So we got to remember that we're still looking at the normal time period in the traditional sense. We used to start at 7:45 and it ended at 2:30. So if you really think about that, really talk to your students, say, hey, remember, there's an hour and 15 minutes. I know it's really early for you to get caught up, make connections with teachers, etc. And our periods are basically 55 minutes long. And again, we are looking at a 30-minute max for our Zoom meetings. And we are going to hold to that, but also that doesn't exclude things such as breakout groups for Zoom, project work, remediation, interventions, things like that. So students will still be able to, be included in Zoom meetings, not just the all-class setting. Wednesdays are set aside for, again, student support. Our advisories are a half hour from 10 o'clock to 10:30, and the afternoon are going to be check-ins, time for clubs, activities, things of that nature. So basically, I've shared the schedule out before with all of you. Just wanted to review it real quickly. Equity. Equity is the primary focus of South Whidbey High School. It should be. It will continue this year. It is a top priority. Equity education will be delivered during Falcon Advisories to our students and also embedded in all classes, most noticeably our English and history courses. Those classes and those teachers have really taken lead and charge in embedding more diverse viewpoints, perspectives for our students. Equity training and for staff will continue also. We started that last year, and it's through the program Cultures Connecting, Addressing Race Relations in the 21st Century. And this program is trained by Dr. Caprice Hollins. Last year, our district was year one. Last year, our district had a district equity team, and we had members of our district, including myself, that trained staff throughout the year on equity. And year two, which is this year, is now all of our schools, not just the district will have an equity team, but all of our schools will have an equity team. And our equity team at South Whidbey High School will be comprised of students, staff, administrators, and parents. And the goal of the South Whidbey High School equity team is to help facilitate equity education, training, support, and recommendations for increased diverse cultural viewpoints embedded in our current curriculum. Also, we will be looking and discussing a cultural studies course that we hope that we will explore, and we hope to offer starting next year for the 2021 school year. Student support. Basically, our student support team is our entire staff. We have an incredible, caring, empathetic staff that really looks out for all kids. This morning, we also have a group that we called our student support team of about 10 to 15 individuals in our community, in our school. And this is our morning meeting that we had this morning. And basically, what we do is we discuss individual students and how to support them, and not just individual students, but how also families. Again, we have incredible resources here at South Whidbey School District and South Whidbey High School, but also our community. So again, there's a lot of people out there that can help our kids and our families. Above, it says student support team. There's a link with all of the information slides of our team. Please contact them at any time. If you have a child that needs help, if you need help, if you know of other families or children that need help, please let us know, and we will definitely help out. Attendance, again, we sent this out to you already, but just wanted to reiterate real simplistically, this is kind of a mandate by it is a mandate by OSPI. Again, there are links about the South Whidbey High School attendance policy, and also the link to the OSPI absence rules. And basically, daily attendance is required, but it looks a lot differently remotely. So just think of it this way simplistically. If our students make a connection, whether it's email, phone call, text, turning in an assignment, attending a Zoom meeting, it could be 11 o'clock at night, a student emails a teacher. We consider that engagement, and we consider that student as present. Okay, so it's a real different way to look at attendance. We track daily attendance, but it's more of a connection. So if a student connects in some manner with a teacher, we count them as present. And again, this is mandated by OSPI, the state of Washington. Google Classroom is our hub for remote learning, which means all the assignments, communications, information will be filtered through Google Classroom by our teachers. Parents and guardians can request parent-guardian access to Google Classroom for their child's account. And basically what happens is parents and guardians that access this will be getting notifications about assignments and other things also. So again, that is the hub for where all of our information for our classes will be. Now, it is the expectation that all of our teachers post all of their assignments and all of their Zoom meetings on Google Classroom. If you're not seeing this as a parent or guardian, or if students are having trouble with that, please let me know and we'll help troubleshoot. Again, why we're using Google Classroom, we have already been familiar with this platform, but also it simplifies comparatively to last year in the communication, and so students don't have to go all over the place to find out different classes, assignments, etc. And Skyward, I just want to let all the parents and guardians know that Skyward will still continue to be updated, will still be our grading program, And we have the expectation that all of our teachers keep that updated weekly. And also, again, students, parents, and guardians can access Skyward. Zoom, again, we got a lot of feedback that students had too much Zoom last year. So I did send this out, but I want to share it one more time. Zoom is limited to 30-minute all or whole class meetings. Again, I think we need to understand our perspective is Zoom is a connection tool. It's not a instructional tool. Okay, so it's basically check-in, maybe some major points, and more of that kid connection that we want. Teachers right now, we're requiring them to have Zoom meetings every day for every class. And we're also requiring that our daily Zoom meetings are recorded, and so that if students can't access or can't make those Zoom meetings live during that day, that they'll be available, recorded and available to view in the evening. But again, we highly encourage that our students get in a routine. We really hope that all of our students can be connected from 9 o'clock to 1:25. Again, we understand some of the challenges that a lot of our students and families have. That's why we record our Zoom meetings, to make sure that they still have access to that information. Zoom etiquette, the big thing is safety. Again, all students, in order to get into Zoom meetings, need to use their South Movie School District Google account, email. Parents, we do not allow parents to join Zoom unless it's through their student and through their student's Google account, and this is a FERPA issue. There's been some real horror stories across the state about schools being Zoom bombed, and so really this is about safety for our staff and safety for our students. And again, number 3 is basically we don't want anyone taking photos, screenshots, recording video, etc. for our Zoom meetings. And again, this is a FERPA issue, which is a privacy issue. And again, it's really basically the bottom line is to make sure that our students and our staff are safe in using Zoom. Just a reminder, grading is going to be like the traditional model. We'll have A through F. It won't be like last spring where it's A, B, or incomplete. So again, we want to provide a rigorous curriculum, and we are going to go back to our traditional grading. Chromebooks, I'm really hoping that everybody has their Chromebook right now, especially since this has been the first week of school, but I wanted to put this up just in case we have students that don't have a Chromebook, or maybe a Chromebook that's not working properly. You can stop by anytime during the school day, and we'll pick one. You can pick one up and we'll check one out. If you can't come to school and get one or exchange one, please call us and we can deliver. Wi-Fi access, again, this is a huge equity issue. We want to make sure that all of our students have a consistent access to Wi-Fi at home. If you do not have consistent Wi-Fi at home for your students, please use this form, the link on this PowerPoint, and send it to Gail Lavasser, where the email is at. Okay, some questions. Again, I got a lot of great questions. A lot of it was covered already in the previous slides. But again, if you do not get your questions answered, please email me, and I'll talk a little bit about that later too, but please email me. I want to make sure that we answer all questions. Can a parent join Google Classroom? I need to know my students' assignments and due dates. Yes, you are automatically invited as a parent guardian on Google Classroom, and will receive weekly summaries of students' work. Now, if that's not happening, please contact your teacher, or you can contact me, and usually it's troubleshooting. We found that some of our parents' notifications have been found in spam. So again, look in your spam if you're not receiving them. But again, that's information that we want to get out to parents too, because we really want to communicate, especially in this remote approach. Also, Skyward is a great resource for great information, as I mentioned before. Skyward is, we're still going to upkeep that, and we're still going to use that as the grading tool. And again, parents, guardians, students can access that. Is Zoom the only way to engage with teachers? No. Zoom is one way for teachers and students to communicate. Daily class meetings are recorded and shared for students who could not attend. Every staff member is using Google Classroom as the main place for classroom information. So again, Google Classroom is going to be the hub and kind of the central area where you can find your students' work assignments and codes to Zoom meetings. Do you have any ideas or advice, help, or words for a student who's just not feeling the start to high school? One of my greatest fears right now is that we have students that have not been here at school for 7 months and have been isolated. And again, we are very concerned about the social and emotional well-being of our students. So please do not hesitate to contact us, or you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of one of our student support team members. But again, we're already reaching out we have a list of students that we're already working with, that we're already reaching out to. And please, again, don't hesitate. We have a great support group here. Okay, and this can be for academics, this can be for families, this can be for social, emotional, environmental, etc. But not only do we have a great support team here, but we have Readiness to Learn down at the old middle school that has been real supportive. And we also have some great community organizations that can help out. So if you need help, if your students need help, or you know of families or other students that need help, please contact us, because I think we have the resources and people. How is South Whidbey High School working with Running Start and Snow Isle during distance learning? Running Start continues just like the traditional approach, but I believe most of those programs also, like ours, is remote right now. Again, if there is schedule conflicts because of our schedule and a Running Start schedule, we will notify our teachers and make sure that that we work it out. So, the priority can be attending the Running Start meetings remotely, and then on our end, we can help figure out other times to work with our students if they're also taking classes here. Snow Isle is still happening. Again, with a modified format. I believe they start tomorrow. We have a small group going tomorrow and throughout next week. I think that our counselor, Nicole London, has done a great job of contacting those students in Snow Isle. But if you have further questions about Running Start or Snow Isle, please contact Nicole Longden, and the email is there. Is there a place I can go for all my students' teacher information? Yes. So that right there, yes, is a link to slides. I'll click it real quickly. Hopefully it pops up. And basically, we will send this out to all parents, and this will be on our website. But basically, it's information for every one of our staff members with their schedules, their approaches, etc. Also, another way to access it, to get a lot of information about curriculum, grading, approach, is also every teacher has syllabuses for each of their classes that they teach. So that's another way to get information about your teachers. And of course, if you ever need help, please email our teachers. They're great about getting back to you. And again, ask them, and they will be sure to share. Do all teachers have supply lists? If so, what's on them? Traditionally, we have never had a supply list for our students here at South Whidbey High School. We recommend, especially right now in a remote approach, is that our teachers, depending on the courses that they teach, will let students know specifically what supplies they need. And since we're kind of in a digital time, most of those tools and supplies can be found online. But again, if you have questions, please get a hold of your student's teacher. I got a lot of questions about this. Are we going to have dances, prom, homecoming, live club meetings, traditional graduation activities, driver's ed, athletics, etc.? Right now, I'm just going to say everything is on hold. Traditional live student activities are suspended until we move up phases. We're still hoping to offer our students the full high school experience this year. Our teachers, and I know our students, are chomping at the bit to get our kids back here into our school and get things back to business as usual. But we have to remember the most important thing is the safety of our staff and the safety of our students. So as we go up the phases, when we get into phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, there's going to be opportunities for more live student activities. Next question, is tech supported for our parents and guardians? Yes, the link right there is an overview of troubleshooting provided by our TOSAs. Further needs, I introduce you to our wonderful tech TOSA, Sue Ann Brewer. You can email her or our other tech TOSA that works at the elementary, Val Brown. Sue Ann Brewer does an awesome job of fielding phone calls and responding to emails and talking parents through different tech issues. So please go ahead and use that as a resource. Again, I had a lot of great questions. I didn't, in the sake of time, I didn't want to get through, I couldn't get through every one of them. I think I answered most of the questions that were provided, and also a lot of that information is in the PowerPoint that I provided. But again, if you didn't get your question answered, please email me and I'll respond to you right away. So first, I would like to introduce, who is this? Oh, it's Julia Maher. Got some questions as a student leader. Julia, do you want to go ahead and answer those questions?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Julia Maher, like Mr. Patton said, and I'm just going to answer a few questions that were given to me. So the first question is ideas on how to engage your peers during remote learning. So I would say it's really important that, well, first of all, our teachers do these breakout rooms, and they're kind of random, and students from the classes are put into these random groups, and we can discuss the topic that the teacher told us to discuss. And something that really encourages students is to encourage, to be active in the discussion and not to just sit there awkwardly and not say anything. I've found it's kind of awkward sometimes with people you don't know, but encouraging that is really beneficial. Another thing is following more Falcons on Instagram. I personally have Instagram, and if any of your students have any questions, they can reach out to me through that. Coordinate a Zoom study party. So I have friends that I studied with last year for like Zoom different homework assignments. We didn't really have tests last year, but we might this year. Studying with friends is a really beneficial way to get the information in your head, I find, for me. And if your student has any friends they're really close with that are in the same class as them, it might be a good thing to encourage them to do. Join a club. I'm in 3 different clubs. I'm the president of RAC Club. We're going to get that started again. I'm the vice president of Mental Health Awareness Club, and I'm also an officer in Interact Club. And if your students are interested in any of those clubs, they can email me or Miss Phillips. Miss Phillips has a lot of information on all the clubs, and there's going to be more information on the other slides coming up. And the last one is participate in advisory conversations. There's not as many people in the advisories, so it's kind of more comfortable to converse with the people in those meetings. So yeah, really encourage that, and that's a good way. The next question is, how can you help new students from on island and off, new to South Woodby High School, transition better? So each new freshman or new student to the island has a Falcon crew leader pair or pair of 3, group of 3. And if they have any questions at all, we've been emailing them, I don't know, since like the beginning of September, and they can email us with any questions that they have. Another thing is ask anything to teachers. We have super friendly teachers. I know I'm super close with a lot of my teachers, and I always ask a bunch of questions because they're always there for anything I need help with. Find a hobby. There's so many different hobbies you can choose from, and I know a lot of the students coming in to the high school and are already at the high school have a bunch of cool hobbies, and that'll really help them transition better through that. And then use the chat box and Zoom to connect with people. The next one is, what is one thing you wish you would have known when you were entering high school? Talking to upperclassmen isn't scary and is actually quite beneficial. I have so many upperclassmen friends that have graduated and that are still here, and they're so friendly and they're not scary. So I encourage all the freshmen and the new students and everyone at the high school to talk to the upperclassmen. A couple other things are getting close with your teachers. Like I was saying, I'm really close with a lot of my teachers, and they will make your year so much easier and so much more fun. So don't be scared to ask them questions or go up to them and talk to them because they are so nice and friendly. The last question is, how can we help students with mental and physical health as parents and community members? So connect with our Forefront team. That's Mrs. Bennett and Mrs. Ludke, and Mental Health Awareness Club, which I'm a part of. So once again, if they have any questions about that, they can text me or email me, whatever they can do. Miss Bennett and Miss Ludke are also super nice, some of the nicest staff members at the high school, even though they're all nice. So they will always be there for anything you guys need. Listen and don't assume. That's really important. Consider helping via remote tutoring. So yeah, you could contact Miss Phillips on that. And then continue to support us in our endeavors. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Thank you guys.
Julia, thank you so much. That was excellent. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Lagerstedt, talk about athletics, answer some questions, and also kind of give us an athletics update.
Hello, Falcons. Here we are in Falconville. A little athletic update. And I know how important athletics and activities are to all of our students and to our school spirit. And we have an amazing tradition here at South Whitby. We have great programs led by really some amazing coaches. And I know it's a little frustrating right now. That being said, there's some really exciting things going on behind the scenes with our athletics. Last year, there were some changes in our league, the North Sound League, that required us to look for a new league. And we did a lot of work behind the scenes, and we are in a new league. It's the Emerald Sound League. And I'm really excited because we're going to include our traditional rivals like Granite Falls and Sultan. And we're going to join some of all 1A schools that are in the Seattle Bellevue area. And we're going to form a league of 12 to 14 schools. It is a super league, one of the biggest 1A leagues in the state. And it's going to create a lot of opportunity for competitive equity for us to give our students the best experience in the field of competitions. We're going to have, it may improve our opportunities for playoff spots all the way up to state opportunities. So we're really excited about this new league. Unfortunately, under the cloud of COVID, we're not going yet, but we do have a plan. And kind of like Mr. Patton said, it's an alphabet soup of entities, state entities that we've got to work under, all the different health departments, OSPI, and especially the WIAA, which governs all athletics in the state. So as we say, all athletics are on hold. All these decisions are based on safety first. We do have a plan. I'm excited about the plan we have going forward. And I mentioned it real quickly here. The first possible season for high school, first practice would be December 28th, and that would be for girls and boys basketball and wrestling. So it would be our normal winter season. Our second season would start March 1st, and that would be our normal fall sports, volleyball, football, cross country, boys tennis, and girls soccer. And football, because it needs more practices due to the nature of the sport, would start on February 17th. Our third season would be our normal spring season. That would start on April 26th. And that is fast pitch, boys and girls track, girls tennis, boys soccer, and boys and girls golf. Basically right now, as you can see, these seasons are condensed. And so generally right now it would be at about a 70% of our normal season. So we wouldn't get a full slate of games. It would be reduced to 70%. This is a plan we have right now. The WIA and the entire state is under that plan. However, as with COVID, all things are fluid and flexible, and we're constantly looking at it. We do not yet have a timeline for playoffs. We're working on that now. Again, many of the determining factors include the agencies that I've mentioned, but I can tell you we are committed to do whatever we can. Whatever sports we can offer that we can do under the state guidelines and the conditions on the ground, we're going to do. One thing I might say is get physicals taken care of. Don't wait. You can do that now. You can go on our website. You can pull up our packet. You can pull up our athletic participation packet. You can pull up just our physical, and you can get that taken care of rather than waiting. And there may be a big crunch as we get to the seasons, as middle school starts, as Coopville starting, as we're starting. You can get those physicals taken care of. And you do not have to make, you can fill out the packet, you do not have to make any payments. Again, that would be proactive if you want to get that done. There is some really good news I'm excited about, and I'm going to be talking to our coaches about it. There's a possible, probable now, limited team practice only opportunity starting September 28th through November 30th. And basically it will be like summer rules. In other words, all sports can practice, and but we're going to have to go through the WIAA and the Island County and South Woodby School District guidelines and protocols for safety. Those would include attestations at each practice, and more information will be sent out regarding that by me and your coaches. Again, the athletic department, I'm still going to continue to communicate through Skyward and School Messenger as we get any updates. But I'm really, really excited about our new league and the opportunities, and I love the plan, what we have going forward, and I'm excited to get going at the end of December and watching our students compete. So if you got any questions, don't hesitate to email me, and go Blue.
Thank you, Paul. Kayla, you want to give us an activities update and answer some questions?
Yep. A lot of themes of when can we do things and we want to meet. So some overarching questions are, what activities can students join? So while we're in our distance learning, I would say first and foremost, we're going to begin class officer elections on September 23rd. We're looking to round out our class officers for 9th through 12th graders. I have an informational meeting this coming Wednesday that was shared out via Skyward. I can share that out again. We'll talk about what it's going to look like to run through this format, and then we will run class elections starting then. So we're looking for students for that. Clubs are going to be the most immediate way to engage with fellow Falcons, meet new people, reconnect with people you haven't seen in a while. I would say in this really challenging time, I've had staff members taking on more clubs than we've ever had. We have some really cool new notable ones. Model UN was brought by some incoming freshmen, and they talked a staff member into being their advisor. Interact is with Rotary, they're service oriented. Our SW2 is a wellness group. The Mental Health Awareness Club has a lot of students, and they do a great job of training and helping to care for our Falcons. Days for Girls is another new one. You do not have to be a girl to be there. They're looking a lot at advocacy. So we're seeing a lot of trends and some really cool clubs that are reaching out to kids and engaging. Do you have plans to draw students in who haven't participated in activities before? I will say clubs are going to be your best place to start. This is a pretty low stakes place to hop onto a Zoom, see what it's all about, hear about a club, and see how it can benefit you or meet somebody new. We're going to be creating a club fair video that we're going to push out via advisory next month. And we also have a bunch of information about clubs on our webpage. Somebody asked, is there a chess club? How can a student sign up for it? We don't, but the great thing about clubs in our district is they are all student driven. So whatever the interest of a group of students is, we can create a club to that. That's how Model UN was born. That's how we have our Days for Girls Club that's getting started. It's driven by student interest. If you're a student and you want to start a club, whether it's chess club or coding club, reach out to me and I will share with you and walk you through the process. How is National Honor Society being handled? We're waiting on National Honor Society to inform us of any changes to some of the requirements, if any. Ms. Cable is our National Honor Society advisor. They hold monthly meetings. If your student hasn't been recruited yet, but you feel they're eligible, she's working on applications, or reach out to her via email. Are you planning social distancing activities to help with camaraderie? Anything in person right now is on pause, just like is everything else, but just because we're apart doesn't mean we can't do things to stay connected. So as we continue to move forward with our levels from hybrid to in-person learning, we're going to develop some more opportunities. Some remote activities are going to include virtual assemblies, club meetings and activities, which have already started, virtual announcements, class competitions, any type of engagement we can do. Even though we're apart, we still want to engage with each other. Here's a little snapshot of some of our clubs that our ASB president created. This is just a short list. There are more. We have a really diverse group of clubs that I would encourage your student to at least take a look at one, even if it's just to make a new friend or to round out that resume for college applications.
Thank you, Kayla. I'd like to introduce the man that needs no introduction, Mr. Charlie Davies, our South Whidbey Academy Director. Charlie?
Yeah, hi you guys, how's it going? Question, what is SWA like and who is the kind of student that SWA makes sense for? It makes sense for anybody. Our students are in the South Whidbey Academy because they had some sort of need. It could have been academic, social, emotional, scheduling conflict, a million different reasons, but it's for anybody who has some sort of need that's not being met. How many credits does South Whidbey Academy student need? 24 is the graduation credit need there, and that's based off the state standard. And we've had kids who've graduated with our 24 credit that have made it into major four-year universities, trade schools, and all the like. Next question, can anyone enroll in South Whidbey Academy? It's not so much that you can enroll, anyone's welcome, but we do it more on based on need and what's going on and what the situation is. So it's a group of people that kind of look at what's going on, and if we feel that South Whidbey Academy is the best option to help support that student. Sometimes it can be some other little, we can find out when someone has a need that there's some other little tweaks that we can make that makes them successful in the general high school. But you know, everybody's welcome, and that's what we're here for, to take care of the needs of families and students in our community.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, in closing, a couple of points is first, we had our first of the year PTSA meeting last night, and so this link is for membership. I really highly encourage all of our parents and guardians to become a member of the PTSA for South Whidbey High School, South Whidbey Academy. Again, it is a group. We all know how public education funding goes, and what's really great is they work really hard to support our teachers, support our students, and they raise a lot of money for our students and our staff. And again, it's to really help with things that we can't necessarily afford here at South Whidbey High School. So again, I really encourage you. It's a great group of people. So again, please sign up to be part of the PTSA. Also, the next link is the virtual college fair opportunity. That's a link right there, and you click on it. It's good for upperclassmen. Actually, anybody's able to attend, but there's some different dates, and I would highly encourage you to take a look at that. We're also going to continue, and it's still in planning stages. We would like to offer a college night and a financial aid night. And how that's going to look remotely, we're still figuring out. But again, that is something we want and hope to do, and we will send that information out. Fortunately, kind of last minute, we got the opportunity to host SAT testing on October 27th here at South Whidbey High School. Unfortunately, it's only limited to seniors at South Whidbey High School and South Whidbey Academy. Mrs. Longden did actually already send out some information on that. But again, just another reminder is that seniors and senior parents, if you'd like the opportunity to take the SAT here at South Whidbey High School on the 27th, please email her. We've also talked, our counseling group, about still the opportunity to give the PSAT to our underclassmen, and that again will be scheduled for the spring. And again, we will send out that information once it becomes formalized. Just in closing, I just want to say a couple things. First, I want to say a big thank you to our parents and guardians for showing up. And really, you know, we're ready for this. The students are ready for this. The teachers are ready for this, the staff, and I know that our parents are. And again, keep supporting us. We're a great team. We're going to get through this all together. A big shout out to our teachers. They really have been working very hard this summer, especially during the soft start, training and getting up to speed on some things for remote learning. And I want you to know that I am proud of our staff. I'm impressed by our staff, and I'm inspired by our staff. So a big thank you also to our teachers. Again, all of this information will be posted and sent out to all of our parents and guardians, and we'll also put this on our website. And again, one more reminder is that when we do decide to move to the next phase, which would be phase 4, once again, we will hold another webinar webcast just basically to give you all the information about our schedules, about our approaches, and kind of the state of how everything is going. Again, any questions at all, please email me and I'll get back to you, promise. And if you have any other questions for any other staff members, please email them. One more time, I want to say thank you to all for attending. Thank you to all the staff panelists for attending tonight. And one more time, go Big Blue. Thank you all and have a great night.